There is a quiet mystery flowing beneath every surface of our world, a substance so familiar that we barely notice it, yet so strange that it defies the very rules of matter. Water, simple, ancient, unassuming, holds contradictions that no other liquid dares to carry. It expands when it freezes, dissolves the hardest stones with gentle patience, and slips effortlessly into every shape it touches, as if it remembers forms that existed long before life began. And tonight, as your mind eases into calm, you will drift with it into a paradox, woven through every river, every ocean, every drop suspended in the silent air. Scientists call it the strangest common substance in the universe. It bends light, shifts density, breaks and reforms its own molecular bonds, thousands of times a second, always dancing between order and chaos. The same liquid that carved canyons also cushions every cell in your body, holding the blueprint of life as it moves. And as you listen, you may begin to sense its dual nature, the softness and the strength, the fluidity and the structure, the way it hides entire worlds within a single shimmering droplet. Water is gentle enough to cradle life, yet powerful enough to shape planets. Perhaps this is why life appears wherever water lingers, not as a coincidence, but as a quiet agreement written into the chemistry of existence. Water stores memory in its structure, carries whispers of ancient oceans, and reflects starlight in patterns older than Earth itself. And tonight, you will follow those patterns slowly, peacefully, into the depths of its paradox. You will drift through molecular landscapes where hydrogen bonds flicker like constellations, where temperature bends time, and where pressure sculpts worlds you have never imagined. And as each breath softens, you may feel the same rhythm that governs the tides, the slow rise and fall that echoes through your bloodstream, your thoughts, your quiet awareness. Water moves within you the same way it moves across planets, patiently, purposefully, always seeking balance. And in that balance, it carries a message that even the simplest things in the universe are never truly simple. They are tapestries of contradictions, woven into harmony by forces too deep to name. Tonight, the water paradox becomes your guide not just through oceans and clouds, but through the subtle laws that shape the cosmos. As you drift deeper, you will step into the strange physics of this most familiar substance and discover why water is not merely a liquid, but a quiet architect of existence itself. Water begins with a structure so small, so delicate, that it seems almost impossible for it to shape mountains, sculpt coastlines, or sustain every living cell. Two hydrogen atoms, light as breath, bonded to a single oxygen atom, holding them at a precise angle, 104.5 degrees. It is a geometry that should produce nothing remarkable, a simple arrangement found countless times across the universe. Yet this tiny asymmetry creates a molecular dipole, a gentle imbalance of charge that turns water into the most paradoxical liquid known to science. As your breath settles, imagine those molecules drifting, pulling toward one another, forming intricate lattices that assemble and dissolve millions of times each second. This peculiar shape allows water molecules to form hydrogen bonds weak individually, yet powerful when billions act together. These bonds give water its extraordinary surface tension, its ability to climb through the veins of plants, and its capacity to resist temperature changes in ways no ordinary liquid can. As your awareness softens, picture these bonds flickering like tiny bridges, forming and breaking in a ceaseless shimmering rhythm. It is this microscopic dance that stabilizes oceans, moderates climates, and cushions life against violent shifts in temperature. The simplest molecule becomes the universe's most subtle guardian, but the true paradox lies in water's behavior as it cools. Unlike almost every other substance, which grows denser when frozen, water expands, ice floats. Frozen lakes develop protective lids that allow ecosystems to survive beneath them. Entire winters become possible because water refuses to obey the normal rules of matter. As you drift deeper into calm, imagine a world where ice sinks, oceans freezing solid from the bottom up, life suffocating under crushing layers of cold. This single anomaly, this one quiet defiance, allows planets like Earth to remain alive. Water's polarity also transforms it into a universal solvent. Salt, minerals, organic molecules, they all surrender to its pull, dissolving into forms that can travel, react, and create complexity. Without this dissolving power, biochemistry as we know it could not exist. Imagine early Earth, where water carried minerals across steaming landscapes, mixing them in restless tides, coaxing them into chains and spirals that would one day awaken as life. Every cell in your body is a chamber of dissolved history, a tiny ocean held together by membranes and memory. Yet, despite its fluidity, water can also behave like a solid without freezing. When molecules crowd together under pressure or low temperature, hydrogen bonds lock into temporary patterns that give water a strange rigidity. This anomaly allows life to exist in crushing depths of oceans or beneath glaciers that press with unimaginable weight. As your mind settles further, imagine these hidden worlds, dark, silent, and cold, where water's resilience creates sanctuaries for creatures adapted to profound isolation. And through all of this, one truth remains: water's bizarre behavior is not a flaw but a feature, a quiet testament to the universe's ability to craft complexity from simplicity. A molecule that should have been ordinary becomes extraordinary, simply because its atoms lean toward one another in a slightly imperfect way. In that imperfection lies the secret of oceans, weather, blood, breath, and the shimmering veil of life itself. Water carries heat the way a planet carries history, slowly, patiently, with a depth that defies expectation. Its specific heat capacity, one of the highest of any known liquid, allows it to absorb enormous amounts of energy without significant change in temperature. As your breath softens into a calm rhythm, imagine sunlight falling onto the vast surface of an ocean. Instead of burning or boiling, the water welcomes the heat, dispersing it across countless molecules, whose bonds shift gently to accommodate the change. This quiet tolerance stabilizes entire climates, preventing worlds from swinging wildly between scorching days and freezing nights. Water, in its silence, becomes the thermal memory of a planet. Because water warms slowly, it also cools slowly. Night descends across continents and seas, yet the oceans hold the day's warmth like a soft echo. This lingering heat creates winds, storms, and currents that shape the rhythms of life across every shore. As your awareness deepens, picture warm water traveling thousands of kilometers through global currents, carrying seasons with it. Water becomes not just a liquid but a conveyor of time, a substance that stretches moments into cycles and cycles into climates. Then comes the paradox of evaporation. When water transforms into vapor, it carries heat away with remarkable efficiency. Sweat cooling your skin, clouds rising from warm seas, storms gathering energy over tropical waters. All of these processes rely on water's ability to steal warmth as it escapes into the air. Imagine each molecule lifting off with a small piece of thermal memory, carrying it upward into the atmosphere. As vapor rises and condenses, the stored heat is released again, powering storms that circle entire planets. In this way, water becomes a silent architect of weather. At the molecular level, these transformations are nothing short of miraculous. Liquid water, vapor, and ice are not just phases but distinct worlds with different geometries, energies, and behaviors. When water evaporates, hydrogen bonds break. When it condenses, they reform in delicate crystalline patterns. As your mind drifts deeper into stillness, imagine watching these transitions in slow motion, molecules parting and reuniting as though breathing with the planet itself. No other common substance changes its identity with such grace, allowing worlds to cycle between drought and rain, calm and storm, warmth and chill. This thermal flexibility has profound consequences for life. Water cushions organisms against rapid temperature change, allowing cells to maintain stability even as environments fluctuate. In oceans, only a narrow range of temperatures exists near the surface, providing a sanctuary where early life could flourish and evolve. Imagine primitive organisms drifting through those gentle gradients, protected from extremes by the stability water provides. Temperature becomes a soft whisper rather than a violent force, allowing complexity to emerge. And beneath all these behaviors lies the paradox. Water is simple, yet behaves with the complexity of a living system. It moderates heat, stores it, transports it, and releases it with exquisite balance. Oceans, clouds, storms, and seasons are merely the large-scale expressions of this microscopic precision. Without water's unique thermal properties, Earth would be a frozen wasteland or a scorched desert, never the cradle of life we know. Through heat and memory, water writes the climate of worlds. Water dissolves more substances than any other known liquid, a property so extraordinary that scientists often call it the universal solvent. As your breath settles into a deeper calm, imagine minerals, salts, and organic molecules drifting into water, pulled apart molecule by molecule by its subtle electric polarity. The slightly negative oxygen atom and the slightly positive hydrogens act like tiny cosmic hands, gently separating ions and enfolding them within a cage of shifting hydrogen bonds. In this silent interaction lies the foundation of life's chemistry. Water does not merely hold molecules, it liberates them, allowing them to move, react, and become more than they were before. Inside every cell, this dissolving power becomes a bustling universe. Proteins fold because water pushes and pulls at their edges. DNA forms its elegant double helix because water stabilizes its shape. Nutrients enter cells because water carries them across membranes. As your awareness drifts deeper, imagine the interior of a cell as a shimmering ocean of charged particles and organic structures, each one surrounded by layers of water molecules that guide their behavior. Water is not a passive backdrop, it is an active participant in biology, shaping the reactions that sustain life with its quiet electromagnetic influence. The paradox grows as we look closer. Water dissolves not only solids, but also gases. Oxygen and carbon dioxide weave in and out of its structure, allowing oceans to breathe and organisms to exchange life-sustaining molecules. Fish and ancient microbes owe their existence to this delicate balance. Picture vast oceans millions of years ago, absorbing oxygen from the air, distributing it through currents, and allowing early life to spread through waters that acted as both cradle and conductor. Without water's ability to hold these gases, breathing itself would be impossible. Even stranger is water's ability to shape complex organic molecules. When amino acids float within water, they do not remain isolated. The solvent nudges them together, encouraging bonds to form, chains to lengthen, and eventually guiding them into the early polymers that formed the first living systems. As your mind softens further, imagine primordial tides washing across volcanic shores, each wave stirring a chemical soup enriched by minerals and organic compounds. Water becomes the quiet alchemist of early Earth, pulling together fragments that would one day awaken into consciousness. The solvent behavior of water also influences entire ecosystems. Rivers carve minerals from mountains and deliver them to oceans. Rain dissolves atmospheric gases that nourish soil. Groundwater extracts nutrients that sustain forests and plains. These flows of dissolved substances create cycles of fertility that ripple through every landscape. Water carries the ingredients of life across continents, forming invisible highways of chemistry that connect mountains, valleys, oceans, and living organisms in a continuous web of nourishment. And through all of this, the paradox remains. Water is gentle enough to cradle molecules, yet powerful enough to dissolve continents. It is stable enough to support biological systems, yet reactive enough to orchestrate the transformations required for life's emergence. In its dissolving touch lies both creation and erosion, both the birth of biochemistry and the slow shaping of planetary surfaces. Water is the hidden sculptor of chemistry, carving pathways that lead from simple molecules to the rich tapestry of life. In the deepest oceans on Earth and on countless worlds across the cosmos, water reveals another layer of its paradoxical nature. Under immense pressure, where sunlight cannot reach and temperatures hover near freezing, water behaves in ways that seem almost otherworldly. As your breath settles into a slow, peaceful rhythm, imagine descending into the abyss where pressure multiplies with every meter, squeezing molecules together until even the simplest chemical reactions behave differently. Yet water, unlike most liquids, refuses to compress easily. It maintains its volume, creating a stable environment where life can exist against all odds. This stubborn resistance allows deep oceans to become vast sanctuaries, shielded from the chaos of storms and shifting climates above. At these depths, the ocean transforms into a world of extremes. Temperatures fall so low that ice forms not on the surface but in strange crystalline structures within the water itself. Ice that exists only under pressure, known as Ice VI, Ice 7, and beyond. As your awareness deepens, picture these exotic forms of water, dense, intricate, and unfamiliar, each one a reminder that the simple liquid we know is capable of adopting identities we rarely witness. These high-pressure ices may fill the cores of distant water worlds, supporting entire planetary structures. Even in their rigidity, they cradle hidden oceans trapped between layers, oceans that may harbor life that has never seen a star. Yet it is in the darkness of deep-sea trenches that water demonstrates its most extraordinary paradox: the ability to sustain life where no sunlight penetrates. At hydrothermal vents, superheated water rich in minerals erupts into the frigid depths, creating shimmering plumes where temperature and chemistry collide. As your mind drifts into gentler quiet, imagine ecosystems built around these vents, bacteria that feed on chemical energy rather than sunlight, forming the base of food webs unlike anything on land. Water serves as the medium that transports these minerals, moderates temperature, and enables reactions that power entire communities deep beneath the surface. Pressure also shapes the organisms that live in these realms. Proteins that would collapse under ordinary conditions remain stable thanks to unique molecular structures forged by evolution. Cell membranes adjust their composition to remain flexible, and metabolic processes adapt to operate in barely imaginable conditions. Picture fish, crustaceans, and microbial colonies thriving in environments where pressure could crush metal. Water becomes not an obstacle, but an ally. Its incompressibility providing stability, its density offering protection, its chemistry enabling forms of life that humans once thought impossible. The deep ocean's stability stands in stark contrast to the volatile world above. Surface waters respond rapidly to storms, heat, and wind, but the abyss remains calm, insulated by layers of temperature and density. As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine these layers acting like soft blankets, thermoclines and haloclines that separate worlds within worlds. Each boundary creates a new habitat with its own rules, its own chemistry, its own quiet patterns of life. Water shapes these invisible borders with precision, carving an entire universe within a single ocean. And beneath all of this lies the deeper paradox. Water does not merely endure pressure, it creates opportunity from it. In the silent depths of oceans, in the pressurized chambers of distant moons, in the hidden reservoirs beneath planetary crusts, water becomes a catalyst for resilience. It allows life to thrive, not despite adversity, but because of it. In pressure, water finds possibility, and in that possibility, the universe finds endless new forms of life waiting to be discovered. Water moves through its phases with a grace unmatched by any other common substance. As your breath falls into a slow and calming rhythm, imagine a single droplet warmed by sunlight, its molecules vibrating faster, drifting apart until the liquid becomes vapor. This transformation is silent, effortless, and yet profoundly powerful. When water evaporates, it carries heat away, cooling the surface it leaves behind. Entire climates rely on this simple act, oceans releasing vapor to form clouds, forests breathing moisture into the air, your own skin finding relief as sweat dissolves into the wind. In evaporation, water becomes the planet's quiet regulator, balancing warmth with movement. As vapor rises, it enters regions of colder air where molecules slow and draw together again. Clouds form vast, drifting structures built from trillions of microscopic droplets. As your awareness deepens, imagine each cloud as a floating archive of thermal memory, carrying the history of the surface below. When these droplets join and grow heavy, they fall back to Earth as rain, returning nutrients to soil, replenishing rivers, and carving new shapes into the land. In condensation and precipitation, water becomes the great recycler, eternally returning what it has taken, trailing life in its path. Then comes freezing, perhaps the most elegant paradox of all. As water cools, its molecules arrange themselves into open hexagonal crystals, expanding instead of contracting. This expansion creates ice that floats, forming protective layers on lakes and seas. As you drift further into relaxation, imagine a world where ice sinks, oceans freezing from the bottom, ecosystems collapsing under crushing cold. Instead, water's unusual behavior creates sanctuaries beneath the ice, where life continues even in winter's darkest hours. Frozen water preserves life not by warmth, but by lifting itself upward, offering protection from the cold it should have embraced. At extreme pressures or temperatures, water becomes something stranger still. Beyond the familiar forms of ice, it transforms into exotic crystalline structures, Ice V, Ice VI, Ice 7, each with its own geometry and density. These forms may fill the cores of distant planets or moons, shaping their magnetic fields and geological behavior. As your thoughts settle into deeper stillness, imagine subsurface oceans on Europa or Enceladus, hemmed in by layers of high-pressure ice, warmed by tidal forces, and potentially harboring life that has never known a sky. In these environments, water becomes both boundary and bridge, separating worlds while protecting the life within. The transitions between water's phases are not mere scientific curiosities. They are engines of planetary transformation. Each shift releases or absorbs energy, driving circulation patterns that guide winds, storms, and seasons. Melting glaciers raise sea levels, sculpting coastlines. Volcanic steam reshapes atmospheres. Even the quiet act of dew, forming on leaves each morning, reflects water's ability to respond to the faintest changes in temperature and pressure. These transformations are the heartbeat of Earth's hydrological cycle, a pulse that resonates across continents. And beneath all of this lies the deeper paradox. Water changes state with ease, yet remains itself. Vapor drifts into clouds, droplets fall into oceans, ice stretches across frozen poles, yet every molecule still carries the memory of hydrogen and oxygen locked in that familiar 104.5-degree embrace. It is in these transitions that water reveals its true nature, not as a static substance, but as a shapeshifter guiding the evolution of worlds. In changing, it creates stability. In dissolving, it builds complexity. In freezing, it preserves life. Water transforms, yet remains eternal. Over millions of years, water becomes a sculptor more patient and powerful than any force on a planet's surface. As your breath eases into a calm and steady rhythm, imagine raindrops falling onto ancient stone, each droplet small, gentle, and seemingly insignificant. Yet over centuries, those droplets carve rivers, shaping valleys, canyons, and entire landscapes through quiet persistence. In this slow, deliberate work, water reveals another layer of its paradox. It is soft, yet it shapes hardness. It is fluid, yet it builds structure. Mountains wear down beneath its touch, and plains rise from sediments it carries across continents. Rivers become the veins of a planet, transporting dissolved minerals from highlands to oceans. As your awareness deepens, picture rivers winding for thousands of kilometers, gathering nutrients along the way. These nutrients feed ecosystems, enrich soil, and create deltas, vast, fertile zones where life flourishes. And yet, the same rivers can flood, shift course, and reshape entire regions in a matter of days, reminding us that water's creative power is inseparable from its potential for sudden change. Planetary landscapes emerge from this balance between gentle flow and overwhelming force. Oceans amplify water's sculpting ability. Wave after wave strikes coastlines, wearing down cliffs, grinding stone into sand, and sculpting shorelines. As you drift deeper into stillness, imagine tides rising and falling with gravitational precision, pulling entire seas toward and away from land. These cycles, powered by celestial mechanics, reshape continents with rhythms that echo through geological time. Meanwhile, underwater currents carve canyons deeper than any found on land, forming trenches and ridges that trace the hidden architecture of the ocean floor. Water, restless and enduring, becomes the planet's architect. Rain, ice, and flowing water work together in intricate synergy. Glaciers grind mountains into fine powder, dragging entire landscapes beneath their weight. Rain delivers that sediment to rivers, which transport it to deltas or the deep sea. Over eons, these cycles create new landforms while erasing old ones. Imagine glaciers moving slowly, almost imperceptibly, pressing forward with a strength that belies their softness. As your thoughts soften, picture valleys carved into perfect U-shapes, cliffs sculpted by freeze-thaw cycles, and lakes forming where ancient ice once rested. Through this interplay, water acts as both destroyer and creator. The geological story of a planet often begins and ends with water. On worlds where water once flowed but has since vanished, dried riverbeds and eroded canyons stand like fossils, silent evidence of a time when the landscape was alive with motion. On planets with abundant water, landscapes remain dynamic, ever responsive to climate, tides, and atmospheric changes. As your awareness deepens into quiet, imagine Mars with its ancient river channels, Venus with its absence of liquid water, and Earth, a rarity where water remains active on the surface, in the air, and below ground. A planet's destiny depends profoundly on whether water is present, absent, or fleeting. And through all of this endures the paradox that water, though weightless in a raindrop and gentle in a stream, holds the power to sculpt worlds on a scale too vast for a single lifetime to witness. Its smooth stone raises mountains through deposition and draws coastlines anew with each tide. In its flowing persistence, water writes the geological biography of a planet slowly, silently, with an artistry shaped by physics and time. In sculpting the world, water reveals its own enduring truth, that the softest forces may leave the deepest marks. Water does not remain confined to oceans, rivers, or frozen poles. It rises, drifts, and transforms within the atmosphere, becoming the silent architect of weather and climate. As your breath softens into a slow and tranquil rhythm, imagine trillions of water molecules lifting from warm seas and sunlit forests, carried upward by invisible currents of air. These molecules are weightless wanderers, embarking on a planetary journey that will shape ecosystems, nourish life, and sculpt landscapes. Their ascent marks the beginning of the hydrologic cycle, a cycle so ancient and continuous that every drop of water you touch has traveled through clouds, rivers, and oceans for billions of years. As vapor cools at higher altitudes, it condenses into clouds, floating continents of microscopic droplets and ice crystals suspended in sky. Imagine, as your awareness deepens, the delicate structures forming inside these clouds: hexagonal ice prisms, spherical droplets, fractal crystals, each one reflecting sunlight in patterns that sway weather across entire regions. Clouds regulate planetary temperature, shading continents, trapping heat, and distributing moisture through their shifting forms. They are both mirrors and blankets, balancing the energy of the planet with movements that appear gentle yet control storms, winds, and global climate. Within these clouds, a quiet drama unfolds. Droplets collide, merge, and grow, forming raindrops heavy enough to fall toward the ground. Sometimes they freeze into hailstones, layered like tiny geological records. Sometimes they drift as snowflakes, each one a unique expression of ice geometry. As your thoughts drift deeper, imagine rainfall beginning not as a single event, but as a million quiet agreements between droplets, each contributing to a cascade that nourishes soil, fills rivers, and renews life. In this descent, water returns what it gathered, closing a loop that sustains every ecosystem on Earth. Rainfall patterns carve climates. Regions blessed with frequent rain bloom into forests and wetlands. Regions deprived of it become deserts, where life adapts to scarcity. These patterns emerge from interactions between ocean temperatures, atmospheric currents, mountain ranges, and even the rotation of the planet. Picture warm currents lifting moisture into towering thunderclouds, or cold air compressing vapor into fog that clings gently to coastlines. As your awareness settles deeper, imagine monsoons breathing life into entire continents and dry winds carving dunes across arid plains. Each climate is a portrait painted by water's atmospheric journey. Not all water that rises returns quickly. Some molecules circle the globe for days, drifting across oceans and continents before rejoining the ground. Others ascend into the stratosphere, influencing planetary temperature and reflecting solar radiation. A few freeze and fall as ancient snow, becoming trapped in glaciers for millennia, storing climate records in layers of ice. As you drift further into relaxation, imagine these frozen archives, each trapped bubble of air, a snapshot of an atmosphere long vanished, each layer a quiet memory of storms, warmth, and ancient winds. And beneath all these movements lies the greater paradox. Water is both a wanderer and a connector, binding oceans to skies, clouds to forests, and seasons to the breath of the planet. It evaporates, condenses, falls, flows, and rises again in a cycle so fluid and precise that it sustains every living thing. Through this atmospheric dance, water reveals its deepest truth. It is the bloodstream of a world, circulating endlessly, whispering life into every corner of the planet, shaping not only landscapes and climates, but the rhythm of existence itself. Life, in all its complexity and fragility, exists only because water creates an environment where biological processes can unfold with precision. As your breath settles into a slow, gentle rhythm, imagine the interior of a single cell, its structures floating in a shimmering bath of water. Proteins twist and fold because water guides their shapes. Enzymes catalyze reactions because water aligns molecules in just the right orientation. DNA maintains its elegant double helix because water nestles between its bases, stabilizing its form. In every moment, water conducts this microscopic symphony, turning chemical chaos into the organized rhythm we call life. Cells depend on water, not only as a medium, but as an active participant. Water molecules constantly collide with ions and organic compounds, encouraging reactions essential for energy production, growth, and repair. As your awareness deepens, picture mitochondria, tiny power plants within cells surrounded by water that transports hydrogen ions, enabling the creation of ATP, the molecule that fuels life. Without water's ability to shuttle ions with breathtaking speed, metabolism would collapse and organisms would falter. Water makes motion possible at the smallest scales, weaving vitality into the fabric of every creature. The movement of water through organisms is just as essential. Blood flows because water carries nutrients, oxygen, hormones, and heat through vessels that reach every corner of the body. Sap rises through trees because water molecules pull one another upward in an unbroken chain from root to leaf. As your thoughts drift deeper, imagine this quiet, upward migration, water molecules lifting against gravity, nourishing forests, cooling leaves, and enabling photosynthesis. This simple yet extraordinary property allows life to spread across continents, climbing mountains, crossing valleys, and reaching into the sky. Ecosystems depend on water's cycle and availability. Wetlands filter impurities, coral reefs build vast underwater cities, rainforests thrive on constant moisture, and deserts watch life evolve strategies to survive with almost none. Water shapes biodiversity by determining which species can endure and which cannot. As your awareness softens further, Picture a rainforest canopy, moisture rising from leaves, falling again as mist, and feeding an endless cycle of growth. In contrast, imagine a desert at dawn, where creatures gather dew from cool air because every drop matters. In both places, water writes the rules of survival. Behavior, too, is shaped by water. Animals migrate across continents in search of it. Plants grow deep roots to reach hidden reservoirs. Microbes flourish in thin films of moisture on rocks or leaves. Entire social structures form around rivers, lakes, and seas. As your mind drifts into deeper calm, imagine ancient civilizations settling along riverbanks, their cultures shaped by seasonal floods and fertile soil. Even today, human societies echo this dependence, cities rising near coasts, economies shaped by rainfall, and spiritual beliefs tied to water's presence. Water influences not only bodies but choices, journeys, and histories. And throughout all of this, the paradox remains. Water is simple, yet it enables complexity. It nurtures life without possessing life of its own. It is everywhere within us, yet entirely beyond our control. It carries nutrients, energy, and information, guiding the emergence of behavior, ecosystems, and entire civilizations. In every organism, from the smallest microbe to the vast coral reef, water is both foundation and force, a silent conductor orchestrating the biological symphony that fills the planet with motion, color, and breath. Across the silent expanse of the universe, water becomes the compass guiding our search for life. As your breath eases into a slow, steady rhythm, imagine distant worlds, orbiting faint suns, planets, and moons, where liquid water may flow beneath icy shells or shimmer in hidden lakes warmed by tidal forces. Scientists scan starlight for the faintest signatures of vapor, ice, or oceans, knowing that wherever water exists in its liquid form, the possibility of life grows stronger, even in the coldest corners of the cosmos. Water's paradoxical stability allows it to shelter warmth, chemistry, and potential beneath layers of frozen stone. Jupiter's moon Europa holds one such secret. Beneath a crust of ice thicker than entire mountain ranges, an ocean lies trapped, vast, dark, and heated from below by the moon's constant gravitational stretching. As your awareness deepens, picture this ocean, a silent world of mineral-rich waters, currents sculpted by ancient forces, and chemical gradients capable of fueling life. No sunlight reaches this realm, yet energy flows through it like a whisper. Here, the paradox reappears, an ocean locked in ice, yet alive with possibility, protected rather than imprisoned by the cold. Saturn's moon, Enceladus, reveals its hidden ocean through geysers that burst from its south pole, spraying plumes of water vapor, salts, and organic molecules into space. These plumes act like open windows into an alien sea. As your thoughts drift further, imagine standing near one of these fissures, feeling the vibration of deep tides below, sensing the chemistry of an unseen ocean rising into the cosmos. Water escapes into space, but it also carries clues, traces of minerals, heat signatures, and the molecular fragments that hint at biological potential. Enceladus whispers through its geysers, inviting us to listen. Even Mars, now dry and dusty, once held flowing rivers, deep lakes, and oceans stretching across its northern hemisphere. Ancient shorelines still trace the boundaries of vanished seas. As your awareness softens, picture early Mars under a thicker atmosphere, warmed by volcanic activity, with water carving valleys and nourishing microbial life. Though the surface has long since frozen, subsurface ice and possible briny pockets remain. Mars teaches us that water is not merely a substance, but a timeline, one that reveals a planet's past, present, and future. Farther still, in star systems light years away, astronomers detect exoplanets with tantalizing hints of water vapor in their skies or icy shells glinting around their poles. Some orbit within the habitable zones of their stars, where temperatures allow liquid water to remain stable for billions of years. As your breath deepens into quiet ease, imagine these worlds as blue orbs suspended in darkness, each one a potential cradle of life shaped by oceans, clouds, and storms, just as Earth is. Water becomes the universal architect, sculpting climates, guiding evolution, and whispering possibilities across the galaxy. And beneath all of this exploration lies the deeper paradox. Water both invites and hides life. It is abundant in the universe, yet liquid water, life's essential form, is rare and fragile. It reveals clues through its chemistry while concealing entire worlds beneath ice. It drifts through space as vapor, falls as crystalline snow, and rests in dark oceans where no star can reach. In its presence, we find hope. In its absence, silence. Water becomes the quiet messenger of the cosmos, telling us where life might be, where life could be, and where life may already be, waiting beneath frozen crusts and alien skies. Water is a master of carrying energy quietly, gracefully, without ever losing its calm. As your breath settles into a soft and steady rhythm, imagine gentle ripples spreading across the surface of a still lake. A single drop can send waves drifting outward in perfect circles, each one an echo of its origin. In water, energy travels with a clarity and balance unmatched by most other substances. Sound becomes deeper, richer, more resonant. Light bends and dances through its depths. Movement transforms into patterns that appear simple, yet hold profound complexity. Water does not merely respond to energy, it choreographs it. Sound, in particular, finds new life within water. Because water is denser than air, vibrations travel nearly 5 times faster through it, carrying information across vast distances. As your awareness deepens, imagine the songs of whales traveling hundreds of kilometers through dark ocean corridors, their voices weaving through layers of temperature and pressure like long, slow melodies. These sounds become maps, messages, and memories stored not in written symbols, but in the geometry of waveforms. Water amplifies these expressions, turning oceans into enormous acoustic chambers where life listens and communicates through resonance. Light behaves differently as well. When it enters water, it slows, bends, and fractures into shifting patterns. As your mind drifts deeper into stillness, imagine sunlight descending into the sea, first bright and golden, then blue and spectral, until finally fading into darkness. Water filters light with astonishing precision, allowing only certain wavelengths to survive the descent. This selective transmission shapes entire ecosystems, determining which organisms thrive at which depths. Coral reefs glow in shallow waters. Bioluminescent creatures drift through the twilight zone. The abyss remains wrapped in black, illuminated only by chemical light. Water sculpts the boundaries of illumination. Waves themselves carry more than motion. They store energy, momentum, and information. Tides rise and fall under the pull of the moon, forming rhythms that have guided life for billions of years. As your awareness softens, picture tidal currents sweeping across coastlines, stirring nutrients, shaping migration routes and carving estuaries where life flourishes in abundance. These movements, predictable yet powerful, reveal water's sensitivity to celestial forces. The moon, though distant, writes its signature in every wave, and water responds with patience, allowing cosmic rhythms to echo through its depths. At microscopic scales, water reveals even stranger resonances. Molecules vibrate, rotate, and form clusters that shift shape in response to temperature, pressure, or electromagnetic fields. These tiny oscillations influence chemical reactions, protein folding, and even the behavior of ions moving across cell membranes. As your thoughts drift deeper, imagine the water within your own body, billions of molecules vibrating in delicate synchrony, forming a silent resonance that supports your heartbeat, your thoughts, and the flow of life through your veins. Even at these hidden scales, water becomes a vessel for energy and order. And through all these interactions, the paradox persists. Water is both calm and powerful, both transparent and transformative. It spreads sound without distortion, shapes light without effort, carries tides across continents, and holds microscopic resonances that sustain life itself. It behaves like an energy weaver, translating vibrations into waves, light into motion, and celestial rhythms into earthly cycles. In every ripple, echo, shimmer, and tide, water reveals that the universe is not static, but rhythmic, not silent, but resonant. And always, behind these rhythms, water is listening. Water governs climate with a steady, patient voice that resonates across entire worlds. As your breath settles into a slow, soothing rhythm, imagine sunlight warming the surface of the ocean, its vast expanse absorbing heat and releasing it back into the atmosphere with exquisite timing. This exchange becomes the heartbeat of a planet, shaping winds, guiding storms, and distributing warmth across continents. No matter where you stand on Earth, the climate you experience, mild or harsh, humid or dry, has been sculpted by oceans responding to light with their quiet, deliberate rhythm. The ocean's circulation acts like a planetary conveyor belt. Warm water drifts toward the poles, while cold, dense water sinks and flows back toward the equator. As your awareness deepens, picture these colossal currents winding through the deep, rivers within oceans, each transporting not only heat, but nutrients, oxygen, and even the memory of distant seasons. These movements stabilize climates that would otherwise swing wildly between extremes. Frozen regions remain cold, tropical regions remain warm, and temperate zones experience a balance that allows forests, grasslands, and civilizations to flourish. Climate, in this way, becomes an echo of water's patient journey. Evaporation drives atmospheric circulation. Water rises from seas and forests, forming moisture-rich air masses that travel across the globe. As these air masses rise and cool, they release rainfall that shapes entire ecosystems. As your mind drifts deeper into calm, imagine monsoon winds sweeping across continents, guided by the seasonal heating of oceans. These rains refill rivers, renew forests, and sustain billions of lives. Water moves not only through landscapes, but through the sky itself, carrying energy upward, redistributing it, and returning it gently in the form of rain or snow. Polar ice plays its own critical role. The reflective surfaces of glaciers and sea ice bounce sunlight back into space, helping regulate planetary temperature. Yet beneath this cold exterior lies a dynamic story. As ice forms, it expels salt into surrounding waters, increasing their density and fueling deep ocean currents. As your awareness softens further, imagine this process like a planetary exhalation, winter building ice, deepening ocean currents, and sending cold, nutrient-rich water spiraling toward the abyss. This movement nourishes creatures in the depths, supports food chains, and stabilizes global climate. Ice becomes both mirror and engine. Even deserts feel water's distant influence. Atmospheric circulation driven by ocean temperatures determines where rain falls and where dryness persists. Some regions remain parched for centuries, while others flourish under constant storms. As your thoughts drift deeper, imagine wind patterns sweeping moisture away from one landmass and delivering it to another, an invisible choreography shaped by differences in ocean surface temperature. Each shift in water's heat carries consequences across worlds: drought, abundance, storms, calm. Even landscapes that never see rain owe their shape to water moving elsewhere. And through all these vast interactions, the paradox becomes clear. Water is both gentle and immense. It responds to the faintest breeze, yet it drives the engines of climate. It evaporates silently from a leaf, yet its movements guide the fate of continents. It exists in droplets, clouds, waves, and ice, yet all these forms unite to shape the atmosphere, weather, ecosystems, and the very habitability of a planet. In its motion, water whispers balance. In its cycles, it sustains life. And in its global pulse, it reveals the profound truth that a world breathes through its oceans. Water flows, yet it never forgets the places it has been. As your breath settles into a slow, peaceful rhythm, imagine a raindrop falling onto a mountain peak, carving its way downward through stone, carrying minerals, traces of life, and fragments of ancient landscapes. By the time it reaches the ocean, that single drop has collected a silent record of every surface it touched. Though water has no consciousness, its molecular bonds capture physical and chemical signatures of its journey. In every droplet lies a story written in ions, temperature shifts, and dissolved particles, a memory not of thought, but of experience. At the molecular level, water forms fleeting clusters, networks of hydrogen bonds that shift and rearrange billions of times per second. These clusters are temporary, yet their patterns reflect the environment around them. As your awareness deepens, imagine these shifting geometries responding to pressure, solutes, and electromagnetic fields. They are not memories in the human sense, but they encode information about the conditions water has encountered. When water enters a cell, it carries these subtle traces with it, influencing protein folding, enzyme activity, and biochemical reactions. Memory becomes motion dynamic, fluid, and ever renewed. Ice preserves the past in more literal form. Snow that fell hundreds of thousands of years ago becomes compressed into glacial layers, each trapping tiny bubbles of ancient air. As your mind drifts deeper into quiet, picture scientists drilling into polar ice, extracting cylinders of frozen time. Within these samples lie atmospheric records of extinct climates, volcanic eruptions, shifts in greenhouse gases, and even cosmic dust from distant galaxies. Water, in solid form, becomes a library storing the breath of ancient forests, the warmth of past seasons, and the chemistry of forgotten skies. Oceans, too, archive history through their currents. Warm and cold streams weave across the planet, transporting heat, nutrients, and dissolved carbon. These currents persist for centuries, carrying imprints of temperature changes and atmospheric conditions from one era to the next. As your awareness softens, imagine the deep ocean acting as a vast memory reservoir, absorbing human-made carbon, storing ancient warmth, and quietly revealing Earth's past through its stratified layers. Each layer is a chapter, written in chemical gradients and shifts in salinity, awaiting discovery. Even life itself carries water's memory. The water inside your body is not newly made. Most of it has existed on Earth for billions of years, passing through oceans, glaciers, storms, and living organisms countless times. As your thoughts drift further into stillness, imagine this ancient water moving through your cells, participating in the same chemical reactions that sustained early life. You are, in a sense, made of the planet's oldest memories, water that has flowed through ecosystems, mountains, clouds, and creatures long extinct. In every heartbeat, you echo the deep history of Earth. And beneath all of this lies the paradox. Water forgets everything and remembers everything. Its molecules break bonds and form new ones in trillionths of a second, erasing structure yet preserving influence. It carries chemical signatures across continents, stores climate within ice, and shapes biological evolution through its shifting patterns. Water's memory is not fixed but fluid, not conscious but universal. It transforms experience into chemistry, time into structure, and motion into a record of the world's unfolding story. Through its restless flow, water remembers the planet, and through its quiet presence, the planet remembers itself. Inside every human being, water creates a world of quiet stability. As your breath settles into a slow, calming rhythm, imagine the body not as a collection of organs, but as an internal ocean, one in which cells drift, communicate, and function within a sea of fluid precision. Nearly 3/4 of the brain is water, and every electrical impulse, every thought, every moment of awareness relies on its presence. In this way, the mind floats within a liquid cradle that cushions it from shock, sustains its metabolism, and allows signals to flow through neural pathways with delicate speed. Water becomes the silent medium through which consciousness is held. Neurons fire only because water allows ions to move across membranes, setting off cascades of electrical activity. As your awareness deepens, imagine these ions, sodium, potassium, calcium, slipping through channels in rhythmic waves that form the basis of every memory, emotion, and intention. Without water, the channels would collapse, the signals would falter, and the mind would dim. Even the balance of mood depends on water's ability to maintain the concentration of neurotransmitters and hormones. Calmness, focus, and rest emerge from a chemistry that water continuously stabilizes. Hydration shapes cognition. Before you even feel thirsty, a slight decline in hydration can slow reaction times, cloud judgment, and disrupt short-term memory. As your thoughts drift deeper into stillness, picture the brain responding to tiny changes in water content, neurons shrinking or swelling, influencing the way signals travel. This sensitivity reveals how intertwined water is with mental clarity. Drinking water becomes more than a biological need. It becomes a quiet act of supporting thought itself, nourishing the engine of awareness that guides every experience. The body's rhythms are also controlled by water. Blood circulates because water keeps it fluid, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues. Muscles contract smoothly because water allows electrolytes to move unhindered. Temperature remains stable because water absorbs and releases heat with remarkable balance. As your awareness softens further, imagine these processes unfolding without effort. Your heart pumping, your lungs exchanging air, your cells repairing each movement made possible by the water that fills your veins, organs, and tissues. Within this silent flow, the body finds equilibrium. Emotion is influenced by water as well. Stress hormones dilute within the bloodstream and are carried to organs where they are processed and released. Tears, a uniquely human response, are themselves a mixture of water, salts, and proteins that communicate states of grief, relief, and joy. As your breath deepens, imagine water moving through your emotional landscape, cooling moments of tension, nourishing calm, and anchoring the sense of presence that eases the mind into rest. Water becomes not just a physical necessity, but a quiet emotional stabilizer. And through all of this, the paradox emerges once more. Water is both structure and softness, both chemistry and comfort. It fuels electrical thought, yet brings emotional stillness. It sustains physical motion, yet allows mental surrender. In its presence, the body finds balance. In its absence, the psyche fades. Water is the hidden foundation of human experience, shaping awareness from within, supporting the rise and fall of each breath, and connecting the biological with the emotional in a single, continuous, flowing harmony. Long before humans measured time, long before continents settled into their present shapes, water was already moving across Earth, cycling through oceans, clouds, and stone with patient continuity. As your breath slows into a peaceful rhythm, imagine Earth billions of years ago, volcanic steam condensing into the first rains, pooling into vast basins, and forming oceans that would cradle the earliest forms of life. Water's journey began before memory, before air was breathable, and yet every drop that exists today has participated in that ancient cycle. Water becomes a historian that never writes, yet never forgets. Over geological ages, this cycle has shaped continents and climates. As your awareness deepens, picture tectonic plates shifting beneath oceans, carrying water-rich minerals into the mantle. Some of this water is locked away for millions of years before being released through volcanic eruptions, returning to the atmosphere as vapor. Each eruption carries fragments of Earth's hidden depths back into the open world. Through this exchange, water links the surface to the interior of the planet, weaving a connection between the fiery core and the cool oceans above. Time itself seems to flow with water's movement. Life evolved in response to these cycles. Early microbes thrived around hydrothermal vents, using chemical energy from water rock reactions. Later, photosynthetic organisms filled shallow seas, releasing oxygen that transformed the atmosphere and allowed complex life to flourish. As your mind drifts deeper into stillness, imagine each evolutionary leap cells adapting to changing salinity, organisms learning to survive tides and currents, species migrating in sync with rainfall and ocean temperature. Water guided evolution not with intention but with presence, providing both the stability and variability needed for life to diversify. Climate history is also stored within water's movements. During ice ages, vast amounts of water became locked within glaciers, lowering sea levels and exposing new lands. When the ice melted, coastlines shifted, ecosystems reorganized, and human migrations followed the changing geography. As your awareness softens, picture entire civilizations rising near rivers formed by glacial meltwater, cultivating fertile soil that had once been hidden under ice. Water's shifting states changed not only landscapes but the course of human history, shaping where people settled, how they lived, and what they believed. Water also acts as a messenger of cosmic events. Large asteroid impacts vaporize oceans, sending steam high into the atmosphere and altering climate for centuries. Massive volcanic eruptions inject water vapor and ash into the sky, cooling cooling the planet. As your thoughts drift deeper, imagine these global shifts, oceans retreating and returning, rainfall patterns transforming, climates evolving in response. Through each upheaval, water absorbs shock, redistributes heat, and eventually restores balance. Its patience transcends catastrophe, holding the planet in a steady rhythm that endures across eras. And through all of this, the paradox remains. Water is timeless yet constantly changing, ancient yet always new. It flows through the present while carrying the weight of Earth's past. It records history without words, shaping the planet with every cycle of evaporation, condensation, freezing, and flow. Water is the silent historian of Earth, preserving the deep memory of a world that has transformed many times, yet remains bound together by the gentle, enduring movement of its most essential molecule. Water feels like a substance that belongs to Earth, a quiet companion of rivers, rain, and oceans. Yet its story begins far beyond our planet, in the earliest moments of the universe. As your breath settles into a calm, steady rhythm, imagine a time before stars existed, when the universe was a cooling cloud of expanding particles. Hydrogen, the simplest and most abundant element, formed first. Oxygen came later, forged in the fiery hearts of massive stars and scattered across galaxies through supernova explosions. When these two elements finally met in the cold reaches of space, water molecules began to form, drifting as ice on interstellar dust. In this ancient encounter, long before Earth was born, water took its first breath. Across vast nebulae, microscopic grains of ice collected into clouds that collapsed under gravity, forming stars and planets. As your awareness deepens, picture these icy particles spiraling inward toward newborn suns, surviving intense radiation by clinging to dust and rock. Some of this water sublimated into vapor near the warmth of forming stars. Some remained frozen on comets. Some became trapped within the rocky bodies that would one day merge into planets. Water, small and fragile though it seems, proved remarkably resilient, surviving cosmic violence to become part of countless worlds. Comets, ancient bodies made of frozen water, dust, and organic molecules, act as time capsules from the early solar system. As your mind drifts deeper, imagine them wandering the edges of planetary systems for billions of years, carrying the chemical ingredients of life. When they collide with planets, they deliver water and organics in sudden, brilliant impacts. Many scientists believe that Earth's early oceans were enriched, perhaps even seeded, by cometary water. In this view, life's foundation arrived not from within Earth alone, but from the distant edges of space water, as a cosmic traveler bringing the potential for biology. Even between stars, water persists. Observations of interstellar clouds reveal vast reserves of water vapor regions, cold enough for ice, yet warm enough for gentle chemical reactions. As your awareness softens, imagine these clouds glowing faintly in ultraviolet light, where new stars are forming and water coats the surfaces of dust grains like frost. When planets emerge within these swirling structures, water becomes woven into their atmospheres, oceans, and crusts. The presence of water on Earth is not a coincidence. It is the natural outcome of a universe constantly generating, preserving, and redistributing this remarkable molecule. Water is also found on worlds where conditions seem hostile to life. Frozen on Mercury's poles, locked beneath Mars's surface, drifting in the atmospheres of giant planets, and forming oceans within the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. As your thoughts drift deeper into calm, imagine Europa's dark sea, Enceladus's hidden ocean, and distant exoplanets, where water vapor silhouettes against starlight. The cosmos is full of water in all its forms, liquid, ice, and vapor waiting quietly, forming the groundwork for chemistry wherever conditions allow. And beneath all of this lies the ultimate paradox. Water, a substance so essential to life, is not unique to Earth. It is a universal product of cosmic evolution. It existed before planets, before oceans, before life itself. The water flowing through your veins once drifted through interstellar clouds. The water that fills Earth's seas may have traveled across billions of kilometers. Water is not just part of our world, it is part of the universe's earliest history, binding distant stars, planets, and living beings through a shared molecular thread that stretches across time and space. As humanity begins to look beyond Earth, water becomes not just a resource, but the foundation upon which entire futures may depend. As your breath slows into a gentle rhythm, imagine explorers landing on distant worlds, searching not for gold or minerals, but for ice, thin layers hiding beneath dust, glaciers buried under alien skies, vapor drifting through unfamiliar atmospheres. Water determines whether a world is merely a barren sphere or a place where humans can breathe, grow food, and survive. In every mission launched into the cosmos, the same quiet question arises: is there water here? Its presence is not a convenience but a promise. On the moon, water exists in permanently shadowed craters, frozen, ancient, untouched for billions of years. As your awareness deepens, imagine astronauts mining this ice, melting it into liquid, separating it into hydrogen for fuel and oxygen for life support. A single patch of lunar ice could sustain a colony for years. Water becomes infrastructure, a source of air, fuel, hydration, and even construction materials. Without it, every drop must be carried from Earth, limiting how far humanity can reach. With it, the moon becomes a gateway, a stepping stone to the rest of the solar system. Mars holds even greater potential. Beneath its dusty red surface lie glaciers stretching for thousands of kilometers. As your mind drifts deeper into calm, picture future habitats warmed by artificial sunlight, with water flowing through transparent pipes, nurturing plants that turn Martian soil into fertile ground. Water extracted from Martian ice could create oxygen for breathing, hydrogen for rockets, and ecosystems capable of supporting life. Each drop becomes part of a self-sustaining cycle, a small echo of Earth's hydrological rhythm recreated on a distant world. Water becomes the architect of new beginnings. Farther from the sun, the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn offer worlds where water dominates the landscape. Though the surfaces are frozen solid, oceans beneath their crusts may hold more water than all of Earth's seas combined. As your thoughts deepen further, imagine humans drilling through these ice shells, accessing alien oceans warmed by tidal forces. These waters could reveal unfamiliar chemistries, new forms of life, or entire ecosystems untouched by sunlight. Water becomes not only a resource but a revelation, a window into biology that evolved far from Earth. In deep space missions, closed-loop systems recycle every molecule of water, purifying breath, sweat, condensation, and waste until nothing is lost. As your awareness softens, imagine spacecraft where water flows endlessly through filters, membranes, and storage tanks, an artificial hydrologic cycle sustaining life in the vacuum of space. This technology mirrors Earth's own elegant cycles, proving that to survive beyond our planet, humanity must become students of water's wisdom. Its conservation, transformation, and stability guide the engineering of future habitats and interstellar journeys. And through all of this emerges the deeper paradox. Water is both ancient and futuristic, a relic of the early universe and the key to humanity's expansion into the stars. It shaped Earth's past, sustains its present, and will determine how far our species can travel. In seeking water on other worlds, we are not merely searching for a liquid, we are searching for continuity, for the familiar rhythm that binds life to the cosmos. Water becomes the bridge between planets, between eras, between what humanity is and what it may become in the unfolding expanse of time. Water is simple in structure, yet capable of transforming into states so unusual that they seem to belong to another universe. As your breath softens into a calm, quiet rhythm, imagine water not as the liquid you drink or the ice you touch, but as a substance that can adopt more than a dozen crystalline forms under extreme pressure. These exotic phases, Ice 2, Ice V, Ice VI, Ice 7, and beyond form in the deep interiors of icy moons, under pressures millions of times greater than those on Earth. Their molecules lock into dense lattices, creating solid structures that behave nothing like the ice in your freezer. Water reveals, once again, that its simplicity hides an extraordinary range of possibilities. Ice 7, for example, forms when water is squeezed so tightly that its molecules arrange into a symmetrical, almost mineral-like grid. As your awareness deepens, picture this rigid structure resting beneath the oceans of distant worlds like Europa or Ganymede, creating a boundary between liquid oceans and rocky mantles. In this alien environment, water becomes both prison and protector, trapping oceans beneath pressure while preserving them by insulating heat. These hidden seas may hold more water than all of Earth's oceans combined, sustained by forms of ice that could never exist on the surface. Even stranger is superionic ice, a phase predicted and observed under immense pressure and temperature, where oxygen atoms form a solid lattice while hydrogen ions flow freely like an electrical fluid. As your mind drifts deeper, imagine an interior where ice conducts electricity, creating magnetic fields and driving planetary dynamics. This type of ice may exist within the cores of ice giants like Neptune and Uranus, making water not merely a passive substance, but a contributor to planetary magnetism. In this state, water behaves partly like a metal, partly like a crystal, defying the boundaries of what a molecule should be. Water also enters exotic forms when temperature rises. Supercritical water, for example, appears at high heat and pressure, where the distinction between liquid and vapor disappears. As your thoughts soften, picture water in this state, flowing through the cracks of hydrothermal vents, acting as a powerful solvent that dissolves minerals impossible to break down at lower temperatures. This strange form of water may have played a role in the origins of life, transporting nutrients and metals across early Earth's rocky seafloor. It is neither gas nor liquid, but a transitional being, an in-between world where chemistry becomes unusually active. When water interacts with salts and other compounds, additional exotic behaviors appear. Water can form clathrate hydrates, crystal-like cages that trap gases such as methane within icy shells. As your awareness deepens, imagine these icy lattices buried beneath seafloors or frozen on distant comets. They store enormous amounts of gas, influencing planetary atmospheres and climate cycles. On Earth, methane hydrates act as reservoirs of ancient carbon. On distant moons like Titan, They shape surface chemistry in ways we are only beginning to understand. These structures reveal how water collaborates with other molecules to create entirely new forms of matter. And throughout all these strange transformations, the paradox remains. Water is familiar, yet endlessly surprising. We drink it, bathe in it, and watch it fall as rain. Yet under the right conditions, it becomes something alien, electric, crystalline, metallic, or supercritical. These exotic phases remind us that water is not limited to the forms we see on Earth. It is a cosmic shapeshifter, adapting to the pressures and temperatures of worlds far beyond our own. In understanding these hidden states, we learn not only about water but about the vast diversity of environments the universe can hold and the infinite stories that a single, simple molecule can tell. Water communicates in vibrations, subtle, continuous motions that ripple through its molecules and reveal a world of hidden interactions. As your breath settles into a soft, unhurried rhythm, imagine water not as a still liquid, but as an endless field of tiny oscillations. Each molecule vibrates, rotates, and shifts, responding to the faintest touch, sound, or disturbance. This sensitivity allows water to carry waves of energy across great distances, transforming vibrations into signals that shape the environments of oceans, lakes, and even the human body. In every drop, a delicate choreography unfolds, reflecting the forces that pass through it. Sound waves travel through water with remarkable clarity. Because water is denser than air, vibrations compress and expand its molecules more effectively, allowing sound to travel faster, farther, and with deeper resonance. As your awareness drifts deeper, imagine the low, haunting calls of whales echoing across ocean basins, songs that can travel hundreds of kilometers, navigating through layers of temperature and pressure. These vibrations carry information: the location of food, the presence of companions, even the structure of the seafloor. Water becomes an acoustic landscape where life communicates through waves rather than words. At microscopic scales, vibrations become even more influential. Molecules in water constantly form and break hydrogen bonds, creating patterns of movement that respond to temperature, pressure, and dissolved substances. As your mind softens, imagine these bonds flickering like tiny strings in a cosmic instrument, each vibration influencing nearby molecules in a chain reaction. These subtle motions affect the speed of chemical reactions, the folding of proteins, and even the behavior of DNA. Water's molecular vibrations are not noise, they are the foundation upon which biological order emerges. Energy also travels through water in the form of surface waves, where wind transfers momentum to the sea. These waves may seem simple, but they create complex interactions between the atmosphere and the ocean. As your awareness settles deeper, picture waves rolling across the surface, stirring nutrients upward, shaping coastlines, and creating patterns that migrate across entire basins. Even the smallest ripple transfers energy outward in graceful arcs. Water translates the invisible push of wind into visible motion, revealing the hidden forces that move across the planet. Temperature, too, influences water's vibrational language. Warmer water vibrates more vigorously, causing molecules to drift apart and density to decrease. Cooler water slows these vibrations, allowing molecules to pack closely together. As your thoughts drift deeper into calm, imagine these thermal changes creating layers within oceans, warm surface water, cooler depths, and boundaries where sound bends and refracts. Marine animals navigate these layers instinctively, using temperature and pressure gradients to travel with minimal energy. Water becomes both map and medium, guiding life along vibrational paths. And beneath all of this lies the paradox. Water is quiet, yet it never stops moving. Its molecules vibrate with energies too small to see, yet powerful enough to shape ecosystems, influence chemistry, and carry messages across vast oceans. Water listens and responds to frequencies, forming a language older than life itself, a language of waves, motions, and resonances. In understanding this hidden communication, we glimpse the profound truth that water is not simply a liquid, but a living medium of connection, carrying the pulse of the world through every vibration. Water is the thread that weaves together the planet's entire energy system. As your breath settles into a long, gentle rhythm, imagine the Earth wrapped in an invisible web of heat transfers, currents moving through oceans, winds circling through the sky, storms forming and dissolving in rhythmic succession. Every motion, every shift, every climate pattern is tied in some way to water's unique capacity to store, transport, and release heat. Without water, the planet would swing violently between extremes. With it, Earth becomes a place where life can breathe, adapt, and flourish within a narrow band of warmth. Water transforms the chaos of solar energy into a stable, living world. When the sun warms the oceans, energy does not remain trapped at the surface. Instead, water absorbs it slowly and deeply, holding warmth like a vast reservoir. As your awareness drifts deeper, imagine this heat traveling through currents, carried across basins by massive conveyor belts of rising and sinking water. Warm currents travel thousands of kilometers, bringing mild climates to distant shores. Cold currents rise from the abyss, cooling regions that would otherwise overheat. This constant motion regulates temperatures across continents and seasons. Water becomes the moderator, smoothing the sharp edges of the planet's thermal landscape. Evaporation acts as another engine of balance. When water turns to vapor, it lifts heat from the surface into the sky, carrying energy upward into towering clouds. As your mind softens, picture these rising plumes drifting into the atmosphere, where they release heat as they condense into droplets and ice crystals. This energy fuels storms, spirals of wind and rain that transport heat from the tropics to the poles. Without this mechanism, the equator would scorch and the poles would freeze far beyond their current extremes. Water uses storms not to bring disorder, but to redistribute warmth with astonishing fairness. Even the deep ocean participates in this balance. Cold, dense water sinks near the poles and begins a slow, planetary journey through the darkness of the abyss. As your thoughts drift further into calm, imagine this silent river moving beneath the waves, storing heat for centuries and carrying it across the globe. When this deep water eventually rises again, it releases nutrients and energy that shape ecosystems from the seafloor to the shoreline. Life depends on these upwellings, subtle returns of stored potential that feed plankton blooms and sustain food webs. Water becomes the memory of climate, holding energy until the planet needs it again. Ice caps serve as mirrors in this delicate system. Their bright surfaces reflect sunlight back into space, cooling the planet and slowing the absorption of heat. When ice melts, it exposes darker surfaces that absorb more sunlight, accelerating warming. As your awareness deepens, imagine this feedback loop, an elegant but fragile balance in which water shifts between solid and liquid, moderating global temperatures with each transformation. Ice cools the world, melting warms it, freezing slows the warmth again. Water becomes the thermostat of a living planet. And through all of this, the paradox remains. Water is gentle, yet directs forces powerful enough to shape climates. It moves softly, yet controls the flow of global energy. It transforms quietly, yet stabilizes an entire world. In its cycles, currents, and phases, water creates a harmony between sunlight and shadow, warmth and cold, motion and rest. Through its patient balancing act, it reveals the profound truth that energy is not merely absorbed or released, it is orchestrated, and water is the conductor. Life on Earth did not simply emerge in water, it was sculpted by it. As your breath eases into a slow, tranquil rhythm, imagine the earliest oceans as vast, shimmering laboratories where simple molecules drifted, collided, and assembled into the first living cells. Water provided not only the medium, but the protection, the chemistry, and the stability that allowed life to experiment. For billions of years, every organism existed entirely within this liquid cradle. Even now, every cell in every creature carries the memory of those ancient oceans. Water is not just part of life's story, it is the author of its first chapters. As evolution progressed, water continued to dictate the structure and behavior of living organisms. As your awareness deepens, imagine early multicellular creatures floating through ancient seas, their forms adapting to currents, pressure, and chemistry. Gills emerged to extract oxygen dissolved in water. Fins evolved to navigate currents. Sensory organs developed to read subtle vibrations in liquid surroundings. Water shaped the very architecture of life, teaching organisms to move efficiently, breathe selectively, and coordinate with their environment. Every adaptation was a negotiation with water's physics. When life eventually crawled onto land, it did not leave water behind, it carried water within. As your mind drifts deeper, picture amphibians emerging from shallow pools, their skins still permeable, their eggs still soft and water-dependent. Over millions of years, evolutionary innovations fortified these tenuous ties. Scales to prevent dehydration, lungs to extract oxygen from dry air, shells to protect embryos from desiccation. Yet even with these advancements, no land creature truly escaped water's influence. Blood remained a saltwater echo, cells remained tiny aqueous worlds, and physiology remained bound to hydration. The ocean never left the organism, it simply moved inside. Plants, too, reveal water's evolutionary guidance. Early vegetation thrived only in moist environments, using water to transport nutrients and reproduce. As your awareness softens, imagine the moment vascular plants evolved channels that allowed water to rise against gravity, enabling forests to climb upward into sunlight. These channels, strengthened by water's cohesive properties, carried nutrients from root to leaf in a continuous upward river. Water shaped not only plant physiology but entire landscapes, covering Earth in forests, grasslands, and wetlands. Life spread because water could be moved. Reproduction across the biological world remains deeply tied to water. Many species, from fish to amphibians to aquatic insects, require water for external fertilization, where sperm and eggs meet within the protective medium of liquid. Even mammals, evolved far from lakes and seas, rely on water-rich environments inside the body where embryos float, develop, and grow. As your thoughts settle into deeper quiet, imagine these hidden oceans, wombs, eggs, protective sacs, each one a miniature sea where new life begins. Water's presence ensures that development occurs in stability and safety. And through all of this, the paradox endures. Life evolved, extraordinary diversity, yet all of it remains tethered to water. From the smallest bacterium to the largest whale, every organism depends on the same molecule that shaped the first forms of biology. Water is both origin and continuity, both habitat and inheritance. It nurtures life's beginnings, directs its transformations, and sustains its existence. In every adaptation, every evolutionary leap, and every living breath, water stands quietly at the center, unchanging, essential, and eternally present in the unfolding story of life. Human history is inseparable from water. As your breath settles into a slow, tranquil rhythm, imagine early humans wandering dry plains, searching not for gold or shelter, but for rivers. Where water flowed, life gathered, animals drank, plants flourished, and people built their first communities. Water was not merely a convenience, it was survival, continuity, and opportunity. Every ancient settlement, from the smallest village to the earliest city, began beside a stream or lake. Water acted as a silent architect, determining where humanity planted its roots and how it would grow. Great civilizations blossomed only where water allowed them to. As your awareness deepens, picture the Nile, the Tigris and Euphrates, the Indus, and the Yellow River, vast arteries of fresh water that nourished fields, fed livestock, and provided routes for travel. These rivers flooded and receded in rhythmic cycles, depositing rich soil that allowed agriculture to flourish. In turn, agriculture produced surpluses, and surpluses gave rise to writing, trade, governance, and culture. Water created stability where none existed, allowing humanity to shift from wandering tribes to settled societies. Civilizations rose because rivers kept flowing. Water shaped culture as profoundly as it shaped survival. As your mind drifts deeper, imagine rituals centered around purification, myths describing oceans as divine origins, and stories where rain symbolized renewal. Across continents, people worshipped water spirits, built temples beside springs, and aligned their calendars with monsoon cycles. Water became a symbol of rebirth, healing, and cleansing, not because of abstract beliefs, but because human beings witnessed daily how water restored lands, fed families, and quenched thirst. Culture evolved in tandem with water's presence. Trade routes emerged where rivers met seas. As your awareness softens, picture ancient ships carried by currents across the Mediterranean, the Indian Ocean, and the Pacific. Goods, languages, ideas, and religions traveled alongside these maritime paths, weaving distant cultures into shared histories. Water served as both pathway and protector highways that connected civilizations while forming natural boundaries against conflict. Without oceans and rivers, communication between cultures would have been rare, slow, and fragile. Water enabled the mingling of worlds, but water also tested humanity. Floods destroyed crops, droughts forced migrations, and storms reshaped coastlines. As your thoughts deepen into quiet, imagine ancient societies monitoring stars, seasons, and cloud patterns, desperately trying to predict water's moods. Entire belief systems formed around understanding when rains would come and when rivers would rise. Water was both giver and taker, nurturing civilizations one season and threatening them the next. In its unpredictability, humanity learned resilience, innovation, and humility. And through all of this, the paradox remains. Water nurtured the creation of human civilization, yet remained entirely beyond human control. It provided food, stability, pathways, and meaning, but also delivered chaos, scarcity, and transformation. Humanity grew not by mastering water, but by learning to adapt to its rhythms. In every city, every culture, and every era, water shaped human destiny. It is the silent force that guided our origins, cradled our growth, and continues to sustain the fragile balance upon which our collective story rests. Water soothes the human mind in ways that reach beyond biology. As your breath slows into a gentle, easy rhythm, imagine standing beside a calm shoreline, the soft break of waves, the steady rhythm of ripples, the shimmering motion of light on the surface. Something in the mind responds immediately, settling into a slower, quieter pattern. This calming effect is not imagination. It is physiology and psychology intertwined. The sound of water falls within frequencies that reduce stress hormones and encourage a state of rest. Water becomes an external heartbeat, guiding the mind toward tranquility. The human brain is wired to find safety in predictable patterns, and few patterns are as stable as the ebb and flow of water. As your awareness deepens, imagine the rhythmic movement of a stream, never identical, yet always familiar. Studies show that such natural, low-frequency sounds activate the parasympathetic nervous system, slowing the heart, easing tension, and supporting sleep. This is why many people seek quiet lakes, showers, fountains, or ocean fronts when overwhelmed. Water offers predictability without monotony. It creates order while allowing the mind to drift. It is a perfect companion for rest. On a cognitive level, water helps clear mental noise. As your mind drifts deeper into stillness, imagine thoughts dissolving like ink in water, spreading, fading, and becoming less sharp. The mind, overloaded with sensory input throughout the day, finds relief in the simplicity of flowing water. Soft auditory patterns reduce activity in the prefrontal cortex, allowing introspection and daydreaming to emerge. Creativity often rises in these moments, not through effort, but through spaciousness. Water gives the mind room to breathe. Emotionally, water acts as a mirror. People gaze into lakes, oceans, or even rain-streaked windows and feel their inner world reflected back. As your awareness softens, picture the surface of a quiet pond, still enough to show a reflection, yet responsive to the slightest breeze. The human psyche behaves similarly, stable but sensitive, seeking clarity, yet easily disturbed. Watching the slow movement of water helps regulate emotions by offering visual metaphors for letting go, accepting flow, and embracing change. Water provides not answers, but perspectives. Spiritually, water carries symbolism across nearly every culture. It cleanses, renews, and purifies. Rituals of immersion or washing mimic the psychological effect of releasing burdens. As your thoughts fall deeper into relaxation, imagine ancient people gathering near rivers at sunrise, using water to signify rebirth, forgiveness, or transition. Even today, many feel an unspoken connection when sitting by the sea or listening to rain, the sense that water holds something timeless, something that both grounds and uplifts the human spirit. And beneath all of this lies the paradox. Water soothes the mind, not by silencing the world, but by speaking in a language the mind instinctively understands: rhythm, repetition, and gentle variation. It calms without demanding attention, heals without instruction, and restores without effort. Water is both outside us and within us, shaping the mind through its sound, motion, and presence. In every quiet ripple and every distant wave, water offers an invitation to slow, to soften, and to return to the deep inner stillness from which rest is born. Water is a simple molecule, yet it holds within it the most intricate paradoxes the universe has ever woven. As your breath softens into a slow, effortless rhythm, imagine everything you have explored: oceans and storms, cells and stars, ancient glaciers and distant moons coming together in one continuous flow. Water moves through each of these realms with quiet persistence, shaping worlds, carrying life, sculpting landscapes, and whispering through the cosmos. Its story is not one of power alone, but of balance, an interplay between fragility and strength, stillness and motion, warmth and cold. Water is the quiet force that binds opposites into harmony. Consider its contradictions. It is gentle enough to cradle microscopic life, yet strong enough to carve canyons deeper than mountains are tall. It freezes from the top down, defying the rules of matter. Yet this defiance allows ecosystems to survive winter's cold. It remembers without consciousness and forgets without effort, preserving ancient climates in ice, yet erasing form within moments through melting and flow. As your awareness drifts deeper, imagine how each paradox is not a flaw, but a gift, a signature of a universe that thrives on complexity. Water does not merely follow the rules of nature, it expands them. Water is also the great connector. It links the atmosphere to the oceans to the land to the living, and the living back to the stars. Every drop you drink once traveled through clouds, rivers, glaciers, and seas. Every cell in your body holds water older than humanity itself. As your mind softens further, imagine the water within you returning one day to the world outside, evaporating, condensing, falling as rain, flowing into rivers, and continuing a journey billions of years long. You are part of this cycle, not separate from it. Through water, the universe moves within you, across the cosmos. Water becomes the beacon of possibility. Liquid oceans beneath icy shells, vapor drifting around distant exoplanets, ancient ice locked in comets. Every discovery brings the same profound implication: where water flows, life might follow. As your thoughts settle into calm, imagine explorers of the future tracing the faint signatures of water light years away, seeking not just worlds, but kinship signs that life's story is not confined to Earth alone. Water becomes a cosmic invitation, a clue left by the universe for those who know how to listen. In the human mind, water brings rest. Its sounds soothe the nervous system, its rhythms quiet mental noise. Its presence reconnects us to deeper patterns of being. As your awareness deepens into a peaceful drift, imagine water's motion aligning with your own wave, with breath ripple with heartbeat. This comforting resonance is not symbolic, it is biological. We calm in the presence of water because we are made of water, shaped by water, sustained by water. It speaks a language the body remembers. And so, the paradox stands complete. Water is ancient yet ever new, delicate yet world-shaping, common yet utterly extraordinary. It is the architect of life, the sculptor of planets, the historian of climates, the messenger between worlds, and the companion of human rest. In its flow lies continuity, in its stillness, reflection, in its depth, mystery. Water belongs to no single place. It is the thread that unites Earth, the cosmos, and the fragile beauty of life itself. As you drift into deeper calm, allow this final truth to settle gently within you. Where water exists, wonder follows.